This Bible study explores the Gospel of Mark, a fast-paced and action-filled account of Jesus' life, ministry, death, and resurrection. Known for its emphasis on Jesus as the suffering servant and Son of God, Mark's Gospel challenges readers to respond to his call to discipleship. Now let's start today's lesson in the Gospel of Mark.
The class ended the last time we met with the parable of the mustard seed and the kingdom of God. What did you take away from the lesson? What stood out to you about the mustard seed, the parable of the mustard seed? What did he say about it?
Well, it took me a while to fully understand and appreciate it, but what I really find amazing about it is that something that could appear to be so small could over time expand to something that almost embraces everything in and of itself. And that I think is amazing.
It is. Okay. Anybody else? What about the parable of the mustard seed? Because he likened that mustard seed to the kingdom of God. Yeah. It starts out small, but it has grown massively, and it's growing even the more. All right. So we're not to despise small beginnings. Okay, our opening discussion, we're going to talk about the servant demonstrates his power. We've already seen his power on display, because if you go back, we look at how he healed the paralytic. If we go back, we look at how the man in the synagogue that had the withered hand, how he healed that man's hand. We look also how there was a leper that wanted to be cleansed, and he cleansed him. So we already see elements of his power at work. We're going to see that continue throughout the book of Mark. So our opening discussion is, what is your greatest fear? Well, what is it, the thing that causes you great concern? What causes you to not be able sometimes to sleep at night? Well, what's your greatest fear? Y'all not scared of nothing? I'm scared. All right.
One of my greatest fears, Reverend Brown, would be that I might accidentally do something that's not pleasing to God.
Accidentally. Oh, okay. Anybody else? What's your greatest fear? Let me share my greatest fear is that my loved ones who are not saved would not get saved. And they're going to spend eternity in hell. That's one of my greatest fears.
My greatest fear is when I'm talking to girlfriends and stuff, and they know I go to church, and then they always say, well, God don't want you to do that, and I be like, how you know?
They're checking you.
Yeah, and they are not into the word.
Mm-hmm. But they know when you do. They know when you mess up. Yeah. It's all right that they mess up, but they're gonna call you out. When you mess up. I got people like that too. They let you know I mess up. And they let me know I mess up. Anybody else? Your greatest fear. Okay. In what ways does knowing that Jesus is Lord of everything help to alleviate those fears? Okay, she said faith. What ways? Just knowing that he's in control.
Just trust
him.
Just trust him. That helps me. The fact that, listen, I've given this loved one to you, God. I don't know when you're going to work it out. I don't know how you're going to work it out. But I'm trusting that before they take their last breath on this side, oh, come on now, they're going to know you as Savior and Lord. I'm able to sleep at night when I put it in his hands. When I know that he's going to work it out. Because I know I can't work it out. But I give it to somebody who I know and who I trust, who I've seen experience from the past. The things that he has done. That he's going to work it out in my favor. I trust that. So that allows me not to worry about it, but to just put it in his hands. However he does it, whenever he does it, I'm all right about it. Okay. All the miracles, somebody?
And with your children, like when you talk to your children and your loved ones sometimes about Christ, you know, you act like they don't want to hear.
Don't want to hear.
They act like they do everything in the wicked. You try to talk to them. The best thing to do sometimes is just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. That's right. Let it go. Let it go. Because you've already put it in the hands that matter. Right. You've already given it to him. So, you know, they ain't want to listen. That's just like casting your pearls before swine. All they're going to do is trample on it.
But you better believe they hear what you say.
You know, I've seen that too. I've seen that too. And they'll bring it up. Listen, when I mess up, they say, well, my niece, well, Aunt Darlene, you say it. I'm like, oh, okay. That let me know. That let me know they listen. Come on now, they hear it. Even when you don't think they hear it, they hear it.
And what he will do,
That's right.
he will prove himself
He will.
to you.
He will.
I was in a coma for a few days. Didn't know anybody. I didn't know my friend, and we've been friends for 100 years, I thought. I didn't even know my children.
Wow.
And who brought me back?
Praise him.
Yeah, so he proves himself.
He will. He sure will. He will. He'll prove himself.
I was given a choice
Okay.
to die a slow death or have a surgery
Choice by man.
by the doctor. Yeah.
Oh,
by
okay.
name. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But when I thought about it, it really and truly it wasn't a choice to me.
Come on.
I already knew what I was going to do.
All right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
trust God.
Trust God. Trust God. He knows more than the doctors ever will know. Oh, come on. I don't care how much they studied. I don't care. He is the great physician. Come on. So all the miracles that Jesus performed were examples of his kingdom power. Think of it this way. When Jesus healed diseases, when he restored broken bodies, when he cast out demons, he was giving us a preview of the kingdom where none of these things would exist. All that he did here on earth, come on, does not exist in heaven. No diseases are in heaven. Come on now, there's no sicknesses in heaven. There's no death in heaven. So none of these things, he's aborting these things. As he's confronted with them, he's getting rid of them for those who come to him in faith. Come on now. So he's just dismissing things that we are confronted with down here because they don't exist in heaven. So he says, in our study of Mark today, Mark shows Christ's awesome power over, he didn't put this here, but I'm going to put it here, nature.
Yes.
He shows his awesome power over sickness and even death. In our passages today, they're very familiar passages. We've heard them preached, we've heard them teach. So I'm looking for input from all of what we're going to be talking about today. And so right now we're getting ready to unleash the text. Now we talked about last time those parables. We talked about the parable of the sower. We talked about the parable of the candlestick, how nobody puts, when they light a candle, they don't put it under a bushel, but they put it so that everybody can, experience the light. Then we talked also about the mustard seed. Now he's done a lot of teaching in the passage that comes before. So now he's getting ready to take a minute of rest, or take some rest. But also, it is important that, whenever a teacher teaches, periodically, after he has taught the students, he has a tendency to give a pop quiz or give a test. So that is so that they can understand and know where you stand from the information that they have already dispensed or given you. So I look at it, when I look at this pericope that's getting ready to take place, that we're getting ready to read, I see the teacher giving a test. We got some disciples and some students on board, and we need to see what they have retained from what he has taught them. So here, getting ready to unleash the text. So if somebody would read beginning chapter 4, starting at verse 35, and go ahead and read to verse 41.
I'll be reading from the New Living Translation.
Okay.
That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There was also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him."
All right. So they're in a storm. But even before the storm happens, Jesus said, "We're going over to the other side." What that mean? I think that's the question on your paper. Well, what does that mean when he says, "Let us go over to the other side"? What that mean? We're going over to the other side. Now, no matter what happens, we're going to make it to the other side. That's what he said, right? Yeah. But while they're in process of getting to the other side, also Mark wants to make us aware that there are other ships that are following them. Listen, but Jesus is in the ship. We see his humanity because it tells us that he sleeps with his head resting on a pillow. But it also lets us know that storms of life are going to happen. I don't care if you know the Lord, you are not exempted from the storms of life. Come on now. But the difference is Christ is with you when you're going through the storm. So while they're on the ship, Jesus is asleep. Great storm. They're on the Sea of Galilee. Just a mere location of the Sea of Galilee is known for the violence of storms because there's mountains and the Sea of Galilee is below sea level. So it's deep down. You got mountains up. So when the wind comes, it knows how to encircle and it becomes violent. So here you got 4 fishermen who are on board. They're professionals. Listen, they are used to the Sea of Galilee. They're used to storms on the Sea of Galilee. Something lets me know there's something different about this particular storm. Come on now, water is now flooding the ship. But Jesus, he's asleep in the hindermost part of the ship. Nothing bothering him. Oh, come on now, doesn't matter how violent the storm is, he's asleep on the ship. He's already said we're going over to the other side. But the storms of life, sometimes they come on so sudden. Sometimes they take us off guard. And sometimes we pay more attention to the storm than the fact that Jesus is with us in the storm, and the fact that he said, we are going to the other side. So they're frantic and they're, wake up. You know, you need to get up. Now, come on, we're getting ready to perish. We're getting ready to die. You need to get up. And sometimes when situations come in our lives, come on, God, you need to fix this. You need to work this out. We aren't any different. We aren't any different. Come on now, I'm always told that fear and faith does not coexist. So if you're fearful, then you ain't exercising any faith. So right now, I'm thinking about my life. Because there's water. So on the ship, the wind is fierce. And here Jesus is. Sleep. On the ship, sometimes when I pray to God, it seems like he will never come. Come on now. And I'm like, come on, God. I need you to fix this. I need you to. He sleep on the ship. Right. Ain't nothing bothering him. Listen, we need to know he's already worked it out. That's it. We need to know that he's not troubled by the storm. Come on now. We need to know he got you. Come on now, no matter where you are, he has you. So they wake Jesus up. Jesus gets up. I want you to notice, first of all, he addresses the situation that's causing them concern. He speaks to the storm. He rebukes the wind. Yes. Tell the sea, you need to stop acting up like that. Well, come on now. He muzzles it. He makes it, all right. But he addresses that first. Whatever that has captivated our attention. He addresses that situation first, and then he talks to them about your faith. Why you acting up like this? Why you cutting up like this? Where's your faith? He does that. Listen, he's the teacher now. You didn't use him. Faith would have said, yeah, the storm is rough. We better get some pails, stop pelling this water that's in the ship out of the ship. Faith says he's resting on the ship. Oh, come on now. He's tired. He's humanity. And when we see him sleep on the ship, we see him in his humanity. But when he gets up and he rebukes the wind and the wave, we see him in his deity. Because only God can tell the wind to shut up. Only God can tell the sea and the waves to stop. Only God can do that. So we see his humanity, but we also see his deity. But he addresses the situation that we're dealing with. And then he comes back and say, why were you so fearful? Faith would have said, we're going to ride out this storm. Faith would have said, I don't care how violent the wind is. I don't care how violent the wave is. We are going to the other side. He never was to die in a ship. He's going to die on a cross. What are you afraid of? And when storms come in our lives, that's what we need to ask ourselves. What are you afraid of? Come on now. Not going to leave until he's ready for me to leave. Come on now. So there's some things he's going to see me through. I don't care how rough it is. He's going to see me through it. And what I need to do is ride out the storm. So do you think Jesus was aware that they would face a storm?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And how would this be a teaching based on his invitation to cross over to the other side? How? He told them we're going over. But the storm comes. It disrupts them. It causes anxiety to them. How is this a teaching? That what happened here? How does that teach me that no matter what happens while I'm in the storm, that I'm going to get to the other side?
Right. Jesus is with you.
He's with me. I don't care how violent your storm is. He's with you in the storm. He's going to ride it out with you. Come on now. Our faith should be in the fact that if he said I'm going over, I'm going over. But Satan, he knows how to arrest our attention on other things. And we get caught up in the other things instead of resting in what he said is going to take place, is going to happen. So we see this as a teachable moment. Storms are going to happen. You may have some financial difficulties that you may have to face. You may have, like Maxine said, a doctor's report that says you can either die or you can live. We don't know what the storm, listen, we don't know what storms are going to happen in our lives, but storms are going to happen. So the lesson is, if we know him, if we're saved, that he's with us, and no matter where we are, he's the God that said, I'll never leave you. Oh, come on now. So he's always with us. No matter what we're enduring, no matter what we're going through, he's there with us. No exemptions. Just because you're a child of God, you're going to be in a storm one day. You're either coming in one, going out of one, or what's the other one? You're in it. Right. But here, we find him in the storm. The disciples, they're learning him. And when he rebukes the wind, and when he rebukes the waves, they are in awe. Because now they're asking, who is this? What manner of man is this? Who have we surrounded ourselves with? That he can speak to the winds and the waves and they behave? Who is this? So now they are gripped with reverential fear. It's not fear of being paralyzed or afraid I can't do anything, but now they are in awe of who is in their presence, who is in their midst, and they realize he's not mere man, but there's more to him than meets the eye. So they want to know what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the waves obey him. He is the one that spoke them into existence. He's the one that said, let it be. And it was. He has control and he's sovereign over everything. The only thing that he doesn't have control over is you and I, because he has given us free will. Come on now. Everything else obeys. We have a tendency to be disobedient. Come on now. And when you're not fully surrendered to him, that's where you find yourself. Disobedient. Well, come on now. And I'm even talking about those of us who say sanctify. So we see him exercising his power over nature. Now, he can tell that wind to stop blowing. He can tell that sea to be still. I think Pastor made a note down here where it says he muzzled. Now, peace to be still literally means to be silent, be muzzled. A command for the storm to cease immediately. There wasn't no rippling effect when he said peace be still. That was it. That was it. So, why do you think the disciples were fearful at what they saw Jesus do? Well, why was they fearful? Because I'd have been like, wow. Come on now. They're learning him. He just called them to be his disciple just a few days ago.
Yeah, because they don't have faith.
Come on. They know they're on an adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't expect all of this.
Right. They didn't learn it from there.
And you know, too, Reverend Brown, since Mark is talking to Gentiles, they're living in a society where you have to use a lot of incantations to get something to stop or to reach your God. But what I love about Jesus is Jesus only uses one or two words and it's done.
And it's done.
It's done. So even that must have amazed them, because they're used to somebody going on and on and on about stopping this, and Jesus just says 3 words: peace, be still.
And
boom,
it.
and it's over.
And that's it.
And that has to have blown their mind.
I'm sure. It would have blown mine. I'm sure. All right. Any questions, any comments? And we're going to get ready to go on to chapter 5. So we're going to read. We're going to read 5 through, I guess, 20. Well, 1 through 20. We're looking at the lunatic, the man who was possessed with demons who were living in the tombs. So if our reader would read.
Verse 1. They went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day, among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to see Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has mercy on you." So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were afraid.
This is a story that should have caused excitement, should have caused jubilation, but instead of them welcoming and being pleased with what Jesus had done, they asked Jesus to get out. We don't want you here. They tell him, get out of town. A good work has been done. We've seen his transformative power. We see a total change, and somebody who was deranged, somebody who was messed up. And instead of them embracing and saying, "Listen, can you work this out in my life? Because I got some messed up, just like that man was deranged. I got some messed up stuff in my life. Can you stay a little while longer?" But instead, they asked him to get out of town. So here they crossed over to the other side. I think it's interesting that he crossed over so that he could help one man. We see that number, one. It doesn't matter. Oh, come on now. He's here to help just one. And he crosses over to the other side, and when he comes out of the ship, the Bible lets us know there met him a man out of the tombs, and this man had an unclean spirit. He lived in the tombs. He lived where dead things were. Oh God, help me now. We find him all messed up. The things that he did to himself. He would shriek and he would cry out loud. They had him chained. No man's supposed to be chained up. They had him in chains and in fetters. And he would pluck them asunder, the Bible tells us. He had strength wherein he would pluck them asunder off of him. Because they had him chained, they had him bound. They didn't feel like he was fit to be in society. So there he found more comfort living among dead things, or being where dead things were. And sometimes the people that we live around, and sometimes, I'd rather be sometimes. Because there you don't get any criticism, because the dead can't talk. There's nobody telling you how to act because the dead. Come on now. So that's where he found him. So he knew he was messed up. Oh, come on now. And in him were unclean spirits. He didn't even have his identity, because when they asked him his name, he didn't answer. The unclean spirits answered. But we find him. He wants to know from Jesus, what have we to do with you? The demons know who he is. The demons know that in a matter of time, they're going to be tormented. Because they said, listen, you're a bit early, ain't you? That's my interpretation. Because our torment has not yet begun. It's not time for us to be tormented. So they know that they're going to have a doom. A time is coming wherein they're going to be put up and put out. And they knew that the time was not now. They want to know what happened. Listen, demons don't have anything to do with Jesus, and Jesus don't have anything to do with demons, but to cast them out.
That's right.
And that's what he did. He told them to get out. He had no choice but to get out. I thought it interesting that the demons don't want to be tormented, but they don't mind tormenting you.
That ain't changed.
That had not changed. They had not changed. But they don't want to be tormented. And so they asked him, can you put us instead? Because they have to have a living. Right. They have to have something living for them to go in and dwell. Can you messed up our pork chops and bacon? He said, can you just allow us to enter into swine? And they did, and even the swine. Listen, they don't want that in there. So they run violently down the hill and they drown in the sea. People who saw this, they went and tell, you're gonna go tell somebody. And listen, no pigs belong to somebody. Oh, come on now. They were gonna sell that. Oh, come on now. Brother Thomas said, put Piggly Wiggly out of bed right there.
But in the message it says those people were in awe of what had happened until they found out about the pig.
Until they found out about it. And then that changed the situation. Because then they weren't looking at a miracle, they were looking at dollar signs. So they went and they told, and here come the people. And they come and they looking and they see the man. This man who was deranged. This man that they said was crazy. This man that didn't know how to act. They saw the man and he was different than what they remember seeing him before. Because when Christ comes in our lives, we are different than what we were before. They see the transformative power of God at work. That should have caused awe because they knew who he was. And they saw him sitting clothed. Because he must have not had any clothes on. But they saw him sitting clothed. And the Bible said, and in his right mind. There wasn't no deranged here. He was in his right mind. And he was sitting there at the feet of Jesus. And then instead of this causing tribulation in the people, they were afraid. Get out, get out, get out. Come on now, get out. We don't want you here. Your presence is not needed here. You need to leave. Vacate our premises right now.
Exactly what it was. It was Reverend Darlene, when I was reading this, it came to me that these people, after they saw what he done in the shrine with their livelihood, their money. So after he done what Jesus said what he done, no, we want you to get out.
Out.
Get
out.
Not about the soul that was being saved, but about material things.
That's exactly right. You know what? I think about too. Most of, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it. Most of our singers and our performers are people who grew up in the church, who sung on the choir. Oh, come on, say it. Sung on the choir. But there was something enticing. Those record deals say, we don't want you to sing about him. Those record deals sing about worldly things. And what they done, they started looking just like these people did at the dollar sign. I can make more money. Yeah. I ain't gonna make nothing singing in a choir now. No. But I can get a record deal. Oh, come on now. So we walk away from what is good in pursuit of money. Some of us have sold out for money. Instead of them saying, stay here and help us. Instead of them saying, I got a sick relative. I see your power. I see your might. I got somebody. Come on now. that you can fix up or fix me up.
Amen.
And they tell him to leave their coats, to get out of town. But there was something about the man. He knew what had happened in his life. I want more of Jesus. And when they're getting ready to get in the ship, he's right there on their foot, right there on the hill. Because I'm going. And Jesus tells him, no, you can't go. You can't go. I want you to stay here. I want you to tell. That's it. That's it. I need a witness here. This is Gentile territory. I need a witness here. And you ain't got to talk much because all they have to do is look. And they can see what it is that the Lord has done. You know, a lot of times when God has done something for us, I know this is Mark, and we talked about the Messianic secret when he said, don't tell nobody. But you know, even to the ones who he said, don't tell nobody. You know they told it. And it's the good things. He said, tell what good things. It's good things. When God does something for you, it's a good thing. He woke me up this morning. That's a good thing. I was sick, that couldn't get well, and he healed me. That's a good thing. Come on now. Whatever he does, it's a good thing. He said, go and tell. Somebody need to know about it. Somebody need to know he can take your life and turn it around. Somebody needs to know that this is how I once was, but this is how I am now. That the things that I used to do, I don't do no more. He's done a work.
And even if he didn't tell it, you know we can't keep nothing.
We can't keep nothing. We can't keep nothing. Somebody gonna know it. Is this the man that was cutting himself? Yeah, but look at him now. Come on now. Is this the man that was in the graveyard hollering and screaming? Yeah, but look at him now. Come on now. It's the man who they had bound up in chains and fetters. Yes. Look at him now. He's sitting clothed and in his right mind. Somebody said a change has taken place in my life. Who did it? He did it. Come on now. A wonderful change. A wonderful change has come over me. So let me see, what's the questions he wanted us to... He's talking about legion. This man said his name was Legion. Legion is a Latin term that refers to a Roman military unit consisting of 6,000 soldiers. This means that the man was controlled by over 6,000 demons. That's a great sense of power. But there's no power too great for him. Come on now. When he says take lead, you take lead. You gotta go. So, let's see, what's my other question? Then he says, read verse 15 again. What did they see when they came to Jesus? Read 15 again for me, Sister Karen.
When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there dressed in his right mind, and they were afraid.
The man's new condition was a major contrast from the condition that he had been in. So what does this say to you about Jesus' power? He can do anything. Read verse 17, Sister Karen.
Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region.
They had witnessed a miracle like never before, yet they were pleading with Jesus to get out of their region. Do you think they were more concerned with their economic loss than they were concerned with the condition of the man? Of course, the answer is yes. Then read verse 18 through 20. Do that again. They cared about pigs.
the Jews and they didn't understand him.
Right.
They didn't receive him.
And that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point because he's now in Gentile territory.
Right.
They did not have the law and the prophets. Now the Jews should have known and should have recognized. But the Gentiles, they didn't have the law and the prophets. And that's also one of the reasons where he said whenever they were in Jewish territory, don't tell. But here in Gentile territory, he tells the man to go and tell. Okay, thank you for that, Maxine. And then it says verse 18 through 20. Somebody read that for me.
As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you."
Go tell it.
So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed.
Okay, so the Decapolis consisted, this man had a great work to do, and Jesus entrusted him with a lot because Decapolis consisted of 10 cities. So he had a lot of work to do, and I'm sure he did not mind doing it. I'm sure he told his story. Nobody else could have told his story like he could tell it. And he told his story about what it was that the Lord had done for him. They were in Gentile territory. We talked about that. So it said, how would this man's testimony provoke? And we talked about how the fact that they didn't have the law and the prophets, but this man was an actual testimony. He in and of himself lived it. He was the actual testimony. He was the actual witness of how the change that had took place in his life, that God did it for him so he could tell it. So whom have you told about what the Lord has done for you? I'm going to leave that as rhetorical. So we're going to take another trip across, and we're in verse 21. So we're getting ready to read, Sis Karen.
Okay, how far down?
Let's read it all. Let's read it all. 43.
Verse 21.
Before you go any further, how long this man was in captivity with legions of spirits? Did you
I don't think it does. I don't think it says, but at least can I say this? One day is too long. Okay, we're gonna read y'all because we got okay.
Verse 21. When Jesus had again crossed over by boat to the other side of the lake, a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders, named Jairus, came, and when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him, "My little girl is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live." So Jesus went with him. Continue.
Yes, ma'am.
A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus,
Go ahead.
she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his clothes. Because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was free from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free from your suffering."
Oh, okay, Sister Karen, we're gonna start right there. Okay, so Jesus, after he has healed this demoniac, after he had healed the man, and he goes over back into the ship, and he goes back over into Jewish territory. He's back over. And well, when he gets there, there's this man who was a ruler of the synagogue. He's waiting on him. Somebody always waiting on Jesus. He was waiting on Jesus because he had a situation in his life that only Jesus could take care of. Told him that his daughter, she lied almost at the point of death, and he needed Jesus to come and see about his daughter. Oh, come on now. You know how mama, I'm not a parent, mama and daddy is whenever it's their child. My child. And so Tia has great concern about his child. She's a little girl. We find out later she's 12 years old, and she's at the point of death. So he's beseeching Jesus. In fact, the Bible said he fell down at his feet. He worshiped him. He know that he was more than just a man. He know that he had some power. And so here he finds himself at the feet of Jesus, asking Jesus if you will come with me to my house. Because my little girl, she is sick and almost at the point of death. And Jesus, he's going to Jairus' house. But in the midst, on the way, something happened on the way. Crowd is following him. They're exuberant. They're excited because of Jesus. They like being where Jesus was. They're going to see something they've never seen before, hear something they've never heard before. And so they like being where Jesus was. He's somebody that you need to follow. And so they're in the crowd. And in the crowd, there was this woman who had an issue. We all got issues. There was this woman that had an issue wherein, she bled continuously. She hemorrhaged continuously. And I can imagine she's weak, she's frail, she's losing blood every day for 12 years. She's been losing blood, and somehow she wants to know about the crowd, and somebody told her about Jesus. Oh, come on now. They told her about Jesus, and so she gets in the crowd. She's now a member of the crowd now, but she wants to be healed. She's been to doctor after doctor after doctor. Nobody was able to do her any good, and instead of her getting better, she got worse. 12 years she's been in this fix. She's been rendered unclean. She didn't have any business in the crowd. None. Because whoever she touched, now they unclean. But sometimes our desperation will give us the motivation to get out of our situation. This woman, she was desperate. So she got in the crowd, but she'd already had her mind made up. Oh, come on now. Her faith was already on display. Because she said, if I could just touch, all I need to do is touch. Oh, come on, the hem of his garment. I don't need to get that close to him to touch him. But if I could just touch, she already made up her mind. It's just the touch that's what I need. Because if I can touch him, then I know my situation is going to be changed. I'm going to be made whole. So she gets in the crowd. I can't imagine she was jostled and pushed. She was a weak, frail lady. But I got a determination that I'm going to touch the hem of his garment. That's what she does. And the moment that she touched him, she could feel in her body that the blood was dried up. It stopped flowing. She was healed. She was delivered. And nobody needed to know about it. I got my healing. I really can get out the crowd now. But something happened to her, but it also happened to him. Because he felt virtue going out of him. He turns around, all these people. And he says, "Ooh, touch me." The disciples, they're perplexed. What you talking about? You see all these people pressing up against you, and you saying, "Who touched me?" But there was something different about that touch. That lets us know you can be in the midst of where Jesus is. You can hear sermons, you can hear songs, and still nothing touches you. Still you're not moved by what it is that you hear. Come on now. Just because you're where Jesus is, all these people were where Jesus was. But there was this one woman that wanted to be healed. And when she touched them, she was healed. Can you imagine that there were more sick, but they didn't have faith to believe that they would be healed? So Jesus wanted to know who touched me. She didn't say a word.
I sure would.
He looked and he saw it.
I was scared.
And he knew, but she, even though it seemed like it was a secret blessing or secret healing, people needed to know about it.
That was a purpose.
People needed to know about it. And then he wanted to dispense something on her that she needed to know. He told her, listen, not only are you healed, but you're whole. There's a difference between being healed, because you can be healed and not be whole. So she wanted her to know not only was this a physical thing, this was also a spiritual thing. The totality of who you are.
Jesus, yes.
Not just your physical man, but your spiritual man has been changed, has been saved, because you had faith to believe that I could do it. You are now made whole. But Jairus is, listen, I went and got you. Listen, my daughter, listen, I got a little girl at the point of death at my house. And now we get all these interruptions, we get all these delays. You know we be wanting to hurry up now.
That's right. My situation is important.
My situation is, right? Yeah, her situation is important. I got a situation, and I was here first. Listen, you listen, you want my time. You want my time. I was here first. And so while Jesus is talking to the woman who had now been made whole, somebody comes to Jairus and say, don't even bother him anymore. Your daughter is dead. And when we hear that, it's like our hope is gone. You can send the master away, all hope is gone, but we don't know who he is right now. We don't know he got power. Yeah, over nature, he can tell the winds and the waves to be quiet. And come on now, he can cast out a demon, the legions of demons out of this man. But death, she's dead now. And a lot of times when we look at death, we see a period there. We don't see a comma there. But where we see a period, God sees a comma. God says to be continued.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, indeed.
Sister Karen, I don't know where we stopped.
38. 36.
35. While Jesus was yet speaking, some people came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. Your daughter is dead, they said. Why bother the teacher anymore? Overhearing what they said, Jesus told him, don't be afraid, just believe.
Your daughter dead. Jairus, I can imagine, my daughter dead. And Jesus looks at Jairus and he says to him, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. He says, only believe. We allow fear to shut out the things that God wants to do. Because, we give up. We give up. We throw in the towel. But he ain't throwing in the towel. No. He said, don't be afraid. Only believe. All right, Sister Gary.
Okay. He did not let anyone follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Jesus saw a commotion with people crying and wailing loudly. He went in and said to them, why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep. But they laughed at him. And he put them all out.
That's right.
He took the child's father and mother and the disciples who were with him and went in where the child was. He took her by the hand and said to her, Talitha Kama, which means, little girl, I say to you,
get up.
Immediately the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was 12 years old. At this, they were completely astonished. He gave strict orders not to let anyone know about this and told them to give her something to eat.
Give her something to eat. He said, don't be afraid. Your daughter dead, they said. Your daughter dead. No, we not with him. We done called the funeral home. We done made the arrangement. Come on now. You already got the professional wailers. These people were paid to cry because, you know, at the death of somebody, you need to make some noise. Right. You need to be some weeping and some wailing. The people are already in the house. She just died. But they already in the house. And so Jesus, this is the first time in Mark's gospel where we see the three intimates, where we see Peter and James and John. You can't take everybody with you. No, you can't. You can't, because they'll put a damper. And you don't need no unbelief when you go. Come on now. So everybody can't go with you. And so he gets the mother and the father. He gets Peter, James, and John. And come on. Get these people out of here. These people, they're laughing at him because he said, she's not dead, she's just asleep. Right. And as far as he was concerned, she was asleep because in a minute now she's going to get up. Oh, come on now. And so puts them out the house, goes in, take the little girl by the hand, say Talitha Kuma, and the little girl, she gets up because he tells her to arise. Wow. Death has no power over him. Come on now. The Grim Reaper, he's scared of him. Oh, come on now. He has no power over him. The little girl gets up. Then he tells them, give us something to eat. Let us know that she's 12 years old, and all that takes place. So here in Mark's gospel, here in our lesson today, we see Jesus' power over nature. Yes. We see his power over unclean spirits, demonic spirits. And we see his power over death. Yes. There is nothing that he cannot do. I don't care how dire your situation may be. I don't care how dim it might look. Oh, come on now. All you got to do is give it to Jesus. He keeps honing in on the fact that told the disciples, where is your faith? Oh, come on now. He keeps honing in on the fact that faith is the key. Come on now. You got to have faith in him that he is who he says he is and that he will do what it is that he says he will do. And he will. There's nothing too hard for him. Nothing. Nothing. We've been coming. Bible study. Wednesday after Wednesday. Come on now. After Wednesday after Wednesday. And I know we've had storms. But he's in charge of the storm. Come on now. He's in control of the storm. He can speak to the storm. I don't care what's going on in your life. Oh, come on now. Just surrender everything to him. Just believe. I told you fear and faith cannot coexist. So if you're afraid, then you don't have any fear. Come on now. Come on now. Because when they said to him, your daughter is dead, Jesus had to look at him and say to him, don't you be afraid. You just believe. Give it to Jesus and he'll turn. He'll turn. So also Pastor mentioned, and he says, whenever the man says to Jesus, come lay your hands on her that she may be healed and she will live. He's exercising faith, which means I refuse to focus on my circumstance and my uncertainties, but I'm going to look to you, Lord. It looks dire right now. It doesn't look good right now. The doctor report said this is it. But I cannot rely on the doctor's report. Whose report are you going to believe? I'm going to believe the report of the Lord.
When I walked in Novant back here in December, and Myra was laying in there and told me, she said, Chris, I'm paralyzed. Just had a good time here. I said, Myra, you're not going to ruin my day with that.
All right.
I said, I believe, and I need you to believe that you're going to get up.
All right.
It's been a storm, but she's standing up.
Oh, praise him. Praise him. Praise him. He didn't say how long it was going to take. He did not.
December 15th. I said, it's a journey.
Come on now.
But I just got to believe this storm that you're in.
Go ahead.
You won't sit in it for a while.
That's right.
And
But you're coming out.
When you come out, we ain't got to say a word.
That's it.
Just look at you.
That's it.
I said, she said, I told her, no, not what the doctor said.
That's it. That's it.
I said, you think I thought about what the doctor told me? The doctor told Glenn and me. And I said, well, I've done all I can do for your wife.
And he had a problem.
I said, I thank you that God got it.
That's it. He got it. He got it. Because he can do what you can't do. He got it.
The other day, she's in Elizabethtown rehab now. I told her, she said, oh, the man is working me out. I told her, well, sister, try and keep working.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
She said, you gotta work
That's it.
with your therapist.
That's
She said, he's bad. I told him, that's God sent you
That's
there
right.
That's right.
to work through him.
That's right.
To do what you need to do.
That's right.
I just wanted to share.
Right, thank you for that. Listen, I want you to know, I'm getting ready to close because we have time. Time doesn't give out on Jesus. Time give out on man, but it does not give out on Jesus. I want you to know that he is the master of all our circumstances. I want you to know that he is in control. I want you to know that his power, come on now, his power is really